What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen, and we all come together here to discuss it. What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen, and we all come together here to discuss it. What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to the Who Dropped the Popcorn podcast. The premise is simple. One of us picks a film that we know the others haven't seen, and we all come here to discuss it. Joining us tonight is Dave McHugh.
Good evening, y'all.
Andy Newlands.
What's up, everybody? We all come here to discuss it.
That didn't work then, did it? And all the way from the somewhat north of England, Kyle Hammond.
I just ate a grape.
Very good. Here's a warning. We'll be going into heavy spoilers of this film, so I suggest you watch the film before listening to this. This episode's choice of film is Kyle's. Kyle has chosen 2020's Palm Springs, written by Andy Ciara and directed by Max Barbakow. The film centers on Sarah, played by Cristin Milioti, and Niles, played by Andy Samberg, as they're stuck in a time loop where they're reliving the same day over and over again. Will they be happy to enjoy immortality in an infinite loop, or will love conquer all and give them motivation to escape? Kyle, why did you choose the film?
Well, I watched this film in lockdown 1, so yeah, 2020, and I just just fucking loved it. I love the mix of comedy, surrealism, sci-fi. The fact that it was, air finger quotes, a rom-com meant that I could watch it with the missus. In fact, when we started this podcast, it was the first film that I thought that I might choose just because I enjoyed it and I knew that you guys hadn't seen it. But then you start to doubt yourself, like, oh, Dave's going to hate it. I better not choose that. Everyone's choosing all these like 80s serious films. I thought, oh, well, I better save that. And literally, I just couldn't think of anything else to choose. And then randomly started looking up on Letterboxd, and seems that for some reason I thought people didn't like this film. I was one of the only people that did, but going on Letterboxd, everybody likes this film.
Why did you think that no one else liked it?
I'm not even sure. I don't know. I just got that impression. But yeah, I really liked it. Just thought, right, let's go with this one now.
Nice. Thanks for that, Kyle. Okay, so Andy, would you care to recap the film?
Hey, 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 what's that you say? It's Andy's articulate analysis.
Yeah, I think you summarised it perfectly, though. So I won't go on for too long. But yeah, basically, this is brilliant, this film. It's about this geezer, as you say, and he's stuck in a time loop. So the day he is reliving over and over and over again happens to be a guest at a wedding. And it seems that the reason he got into this time loop is because there's something, I'm not sure what it is, a portal or whatever, in a cave. And then through the film, you find out that there's this other guy. Fucking hell, this is excellent. This other guy that he got drunk with on one of his days took him into this cave. So he relives the day over and over again.
Sorry to interrupt, Andy. Sorry, they don't get drunk.
No worries, I'm used to it. No worries.
They get fucked up on sweeties, as he calls them.
Yeah.
Drugs.
Yeah.
Drugs. Yeah. So
that's a great
scene
in
they
the
get
bath
fucked
when
up.
they're just like fucked up in the bath.
Yeah. So because of that, and then basically this guy gets annoyed. He's like, fucking hell, I'm like reliving the whole day. So like he basically every now and then turns up and tries to torture him and kill him and all the rest of it. And then eventually this other girl gets stuck in the time loop, and the film just centers around what goes on day after day after day, their relationship. It's fantastic. There's lots and lots to talk about, and eventually how they manage to escape the loop.
Great. Fantastic. Thanks, Andy. Great. So the person that we haven't heard the opinion from yet is Dave. Dave, what do you think of the film?
I absolutely adored it. Absolutely loved it. Can you hear me?
Okay, that's the end of the podcast. Jesus Christ.
You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. Really appreciate it. See you soon.
I want to be adored.
What's up, everyone? I'm Shafi Malik, and you're listening to Who Dropped.
Oh, sorry, I must have missed the second question. And why did you like it? Sorry if I missed that.
Well, no, you could. Why do I have to guide how you talk? You can just elaborate yourself.
Oh, yeah, for the same reason you all liked it. How about that? I thought it was fucking brilliant, and I don't really know why I loved it so much because it's probably not as funny if you. It is a brilliant comedy, but for some reason it's not as funny as you probably think. It's just there's something about it. It's perfectly paced. It's a bit of a soap opera. It's a love story. It's sci-fi. It's got everything, and I think it gives the right percentages of all the different types of genres. And to me, it's a fucking masterpiece, absolute masterpiece, and I absolutely love it because of the way it's balanced. I love this film, Kyle. Legend. And I can't believe I've never even heard of it. I had no idea. I had no idea. I kind of agree
that it's funny, but it's not like laugh a minute funny, is it? There's bits where it's like there's not you're not laugh for 10 minutes or whatever. It's very much a matter of genres. Yeah,
it sets the tone like within the first 5 minutes because basically you just see Andy Samberg wanking over his girlfriend getting changed, and I was like, all right. I was watching it with Liza, and that's when I sort of burst out laughing. And,
she was brilliant, actually. She was understated, brilliant character. Yeah, there's so many great characters, aren't there? Yeah, it really is a masterpiece, absolute goddamn masterpiece.
Andy, did this work for you as a comedy? Were you laughing out loud throughout though?
Oh mate, it was tremendous. Like I didn't laugh out loud all the time, but very, very funny. Like watched it with my wife, she was enjoying it. I haven't seen a film like this for a while. This was quite a joy to watch on this podcast because it was totally out of nowhere, a bit quirky. This isn't the right term, you all slag me off, but as indie as I might go, I don't even know what I fucking mean by that. But it was just slightly left field of what I normally see on this. We've watched so many mental movies. That one you made me watch about the Japanese cat or whatever the fuck that was all about. All of Dave's shit. Like, it was just nice to just sit down with Jen and like, you know, when obviously Jen's been losing faith in the podcast because I've been saying, oh, Shafi's got another movie choice. It's really good. And then you've obviously given me Jalika 2, The Wailing, and the fucking horror pussy one. So
at one point she was supportive of the podcast, and now
she like it was. I just thought this could be something good, but then like you know, like I can't make Jen sit down and watch like Blood Simple, and I just can't. Like what the fuck? But this is absolutely perfect. It's just it will satisfy all sorts of personalities because it's funny, it's thought provoking. Even the way like the lady like thinks of how I can escape from this, and like the nice bit where the guy like. I'm going to call him the villain, even though that's the wrong term. Like he just finds peace with it at the end. It's like it's just cool. And then maybe there is some crazy shit to it. Like because when I was watching a film like this, I'm thinking, right, how many days has this guy lived? But it might have been 1 million or so. So no wonder, you know, I think he let somebody fuck him up the ass at one point because after 1 million days, maybe you would just do that. I'm hoping I'm not saying anything, but it's just a weird thing, isn't it? Like if you lived 1 million days, well, what do you do? Like maybe you do try everything. I'm going to try everything and then you might get to that state where you're like, maybe I have to try everything to get out of this because you're going mad. Like you must, I don't know. I thought it was great. This is
the writer said it's 40 years that he's been doing the time loop for.
40 years. So what's that?
Yeah,
that is 3,000.
Really, that I don't know.
So that's less than
that ruins it. That ruins the fact he's given a date. That ruins.
He shouldn't have given that. You shouldn't have ruined that. Either.
I'd rather like the audience have our own sort of, you know.
Well, they've not stated this in the film, have they? That's just what he's got in his head. But it's like any writer. As we discussed with Nope, it's like you can interpret what you want from the film. He just said that in an interview. He's not said that's law or whatever. But yeah. I mean, what got me was he says he couldn't remember what his job was. So it's like, surely after 40 years, you still remember what your job was.
Yeah,
unless
I know.
He might just be a gig worker, just works jobs back and forth. You don't know, do you? Changes all the time. No idea.
So Andy said it's an indie film. It did actually, because what I remember this, and I've just Googled it, is that it did actually sell quite well in the festival market. So it sold so it caused a splash at Sundance this year, was in 2020, and when Hulu and Neon sealed a record-breaking 17.5 million world rights deal. So
apparently the original figure was they said we'll give you £1 more than the Sundance record, and then the writers and the producers came back and said no, not £1, we want 69p more than the record.
Oh, right.
Just imagine Andy Samberg and his mates. Oh yeah, it's independent. Yeah, surely.
Yes, mate. Learning.
I don't know.
Shafi said no.
Lonely Island, are they not independent?
I don't know. I would say what was the budget then?
I think it's 15 million, the film.
Right.
Oh.
I mean, the fact that they've got quite a decent cast, they're able to afford JK Simmons and, Cristin Milioti. I don't know. Did Laura watch this film, Kyle?
Yeah, but it was like 2 years ago, so I can't remember what her reaction was to it or anything. Sorry.
And what did Jenna think, Andy?
Sorry. Yeah, thought it was cool. I don't know. We didn't really talk about it, but I think we were like discussing. We might have said it was a sci-fi comedy. I think.
Yeah.
Can there be such a thing?
Do you go into like? Yeah. I don't go into like discussions with my wife about the film afterwards, like where we make points about what we liked and didn't like.
Nah, it won't. No, I mean it'll be me. It'll be me chatting while she's probably not listening on her phone.
Yeah.
Well, what I do, what I do is I sort of stay silent, and then basically Liz will go, "That film was really good, wasn't it?" And then I make a face, and she's like, "What did you think of the film?" And, then I rip it to pieces, basically.
I wasn't happy with the production values of the
oh my god,
scene,
Liz and I watched the worst film ever made the other week, and
Blood Simple.
Under the Skin.
I don't think it's not Under the Skin, because that's one of the greatest films ever made.
It's fucking shit. Anyway, go on.
But yeah, so yeah, that's the thing. I remember watching. Yeah, so I was like, I was sort of quite pissed off about it actually afterwards. So I was just sort of like, why the fuck did I spend my time watching that film? But
what was it, man? Come on, don't leave us hanging. What was it?
It's a film called I think it's called How Did I Get Married? How Did I Get Married or something?
Yeah, never heard of it.
It's on one of the most like insulting film. Is it called How Did I Get Married?
Why Did I Get Married?
Why Did I Get Married? When it's a Tyler Perry film,
2007
right?
American comedy with Tyler Perry.
Yeah. Fucking awful.
Oh shit, man!
How do you know that? What were you expecting?
And it's like it's got like a stacked cast. It's got Janet Jackson and Jill Scott and like friggin' what's his name, Michael J. White, and like all like a huge like stacked cast. And it's not by the way, it's not a Tyler Perry film, as in Maddia. No one Tyler Perry's not dressed up as Maddia and all that stuff. It's actually like tries to take itself as like a serious drama, and it fails in all fucking levels. Like it's the worst thing ever. Anyway.
Isn't Mrs. Brown Boys part of the Maddia universe now?
Is it?
It's fucking yeah. One of I think the latest film, Mrs. Brown Boy or Mrs. Brown, whatever, is in there. So you've got Tyler Perry doing drag, and then some Irish guy doing fucking drag.
Well, so it's like it's the MBCU universe, shared universe.
There you go. Yeah.
Wow, I didn't even know that. That's great. That's amazing. So, Dave, you're a fan of Groundhog Day?
Yeah, of course. Who isn't, man?
How does this compare to Groundhog Day?
It's not as good as Groundhog Day, but it's fucking brilliant, and it's very interesting. Yeah. It's very interesting to think that you would have one or two other people in there with you. It's really quite interesting, isn't it? Obviously, Groundhog Day, I'm glad no one else was in it with him because it makes his character so unique. But for a film that's very similar, I really, really enjoyed that factor. So yeah, Groundhog Day is incredible film. That is an incredible film that I've always loved.
This film kind of I love how there's no intro to it. It's just straight into the Bill Murray bit where Bill Murray's trying to kill himself. The bit where he's like, don't give a fuck. Andy Samberg's already there, which I love. They're like, oh shit, straight in there. Yeah. And they reference Groundhog Day a couple of times, don't they? So when Niall says, oh, this is one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about, obviously wink wink, Groundhog Day. And then when Sarah first goes into the loop, she's like, I have to get good karma to get out of this, which is obviously what Groundhog Day is about, isn't it? They're like, no, it's not. I've tried that. I've tried killing myself. No.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they sort of reference film without referencing it, don't they?
Yeah,
which is pretty good.
Have you seen Happy Death Day?
Yeah.
At the
These
end,
films are good.
I'm watching the second one, but at the very end, I was just a bit cringe. It was like they're talking in a pub or a cafe or whatever, and she's like, "Oh, I've never heard of Bill Murray. Who's Bill Murray?" It's like, "Oh, have you never seen Groundhog Day?" And then it cuts to like black. It's like, oh, fuck off.
Oh god.
Yeah. I like that film. I think it's a good film.
So it's all right. It's all right. I've not seen the sequel though.
Are there any others?
There's loads of others. So Edge of Tomorrow, I think,
is fucking quality. I love that film.
Yeah.
Edge of Tomorrow is like, for me, the reason why it isn't a time loop, I think, even though probably the filmmakers would disagree, is that I think for me, that is the film that seems closest to like recreating playing a video game, right?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course.
When he goes to sleep, he doesn't wake up at the beginning. It's when he dies.
Yeah.
And what's great about that film is that it's really good writing. The way they get around it all is where he goes to Emily Blunt and she's like, "Oh yeah, that happened to me." They just bypass that whole him having to explain it all every time, and like straight away she gets it. Brilliant.
Yeah. But that's the same. It's the same as this film. They don't really go into that much.
Well, it's been done. It's been, as you're going to say, it's been done so many times, hasn't it? Now, yeah.
But what else? What are there for films?
So there's a TV show that you probably heard me and Kyle talk about.
I asked what films, mate.
There's a TV show that you probably asked me and Kyle talk about, which is called Russian Doll, and I would recommend that to anyone. I to be honest,
series 2, but series 1 was brilliant.
I haven't seen series 2, but I think out of like all the time loop stories, I think that's my favorite. Like including Groundhog Day and
wow,
okay.
Yeah, I think it's brilliant. But I mean, I guess they do it quite well with the TV show. With the TV show, they got space to do different interesting things with it, haven't they? So I remember there was a DTV film which had the same concept. It's called 1201. Which is released around the same time as Groundhog Day, and it's about someone in a time loop, and it stars a comedy actor, but it kind of goes more in the sort of sci-fi route, where it's in, like, Groundhog Day doesn't really treat it like a sci-fi, just trying to and sort of like this one as well. It's more by concept, and that's it. It's just and I think with Groundhog Day and this film, what we discussed is that with the concept, they try and do as much with it like as possible. Like, they've sort of rinsed what you could do. Then there's an action film where Joe Carnahan action film called, do you know what I'm talking about? With Frank
Never know who that actor is.
Oh yeah, Mob Boss. I've been meaning to watch that. Never got around to it. Yeah, it's got
is it called Mob Boss? No, it's not.
No. Boss Level. Sorry, Boss Level.
Boss Level.
Boss Level.
Yeah,
so that's
Mel Gibson
that's
as well.
Pretty recent.
Yeah.
That's pretty recent, isn't it?
Yeah.
And the reason I jizzed in my pants, if anyone's wondering, is of course
because you opened a window and a breeze rolled in.
Sorry, yeah, Rope-a-Dope 1 or 2, which are actually better than Groundhog Day. So
shit!
Actually,
I totally forgot about them.
Yeah. So there's a YouTube. I think we've talked about it before on this show, where there's
every episode.
There's a short film called Rope-a-Dope, and that that's basically a martial arts version of a time loop thing, and that does it really well as well.
I'll put the link in the description again. Yeah. But please watch it. Yeah. I
know Eric Jacobus, I think, sort of needs to give us a bit of money for this. But there you go.
That video should have more views than it does, man. It should have way more views.
But I think the good thing that this concept invites is the concept of montages, right? Because then you could easily do like a montage. So I guess what's the montage with what are the montage sequences for this film that we're talking about?
The dance one was good.
The dance, is that a montage? It's one sequence, isn't it?
No, because it shows them training to do it, and then it shows them in the bar doing the.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. And I guess like there's a whole montage of them just doing whatever the fuck they like, and
Yeah, she goes out the car roof, doesn't she, and falls out, yeah.
And there's that really funny when they crash the wedding by saying there's a bomb and there's a bomb in the box.
Yeah, no, that is funny.
And she comes in and like she acts like some sort of villain. And
she's got like a hook, hasn't she?
Yeah.
And then he gets
when they crash the plane is awesome as well.
Oh shit!
When they crash the plane,
yeah. Did you watch it today, Dave?
Yeah.
Yeah, shock.
I just didn't want to sleep on it. Sorry.
Yeah.
And I guess what else? A montage when she's basically learning the physics. And, you know.
When I rewatched it, that bit was way shorter than I remember. For some reason in my head, when I first watched it, I thought that bit was a lot longer. But it's literally like 30 seconds. But what's funny is that she spends all this time, she might have spent 7 years getting a PhD learning all this shit. And then the outcome is just got to blow it up.
Yeah, it's a bit weird.
The funny thing is, I could be caught in a time loop for 700 years and I still would be none the wiser. Every single day in that first physics class, I would be just as fit. It would never, no matter how long it takes, it's just over your head, isn't it? It doesn't matter. The thing is, I would just be desperately trying to talk to professors on YouTube going, any idea how to get out of it? Any idea in theory? What's your craziest theory?
Is that why you decided to watch Professor Brian Cox with us, Dave? Because you're just like, oh, I don't get it.
Dave, I'm not sure if you figured this out yet, but when you watch a film on YouTube, you can't talk to the people in the video.
I don't reckon you'd be able to organise one conversation with one professor, even if you had 700 years, let alone engage with the professor, and then let alone figure it out.
Dave, you've been wondering why Bruce Lee hasn't been answering back.
I guess I'd have to go to the University of California each day and ask the physics professor, and then ask them to WhatsApp.
How would you get there? You're in Sand Street, and you're like, right, I need to get to California.
You're in a time loop as well.
Why California? Yeah. Why California?
I'd asked. Well, I thought they were kind of near California, weren't they? I know they're near Texas, weren't they?
No. Well, Palm Springs is California. Yeah.
Oh yeah. So yeah, I'd have gone to the University of California or whichever one. I reckon that'd be quite some good physicists at that one. I'd ask Dr. Gibbo.
Which one of us would you sleep with first? That's all we're interested in.
I'd probably go Shafi first.
Because she's got the biggest dick.
Thanks, man. Thanks.
Oh, I knew you'd say that.
Nah, I don't think I'd bone any guy ever.
But you'd take every one of us.
700 years.
I don't think I answered the question.
If you could live one day as a Groundhog Day, and it's just like, it's not a good day, it's just it will just hit you randomly on a Tuesday or something like that. How many years would you take if you could do it?
Or just like a random day, so not
you won't even know it. Yeah. Over the next 2 years, it'll suddenly hit you.
You don't know it.
You can't choose the greatest day of your life, so it is just a bit of a dull day. But how many years would you have? Because you don't have to go to work or anything.
But it's what you make of it. It may not be the day.
Yeah, no, exactly. So like it's not a day in your past, and it's a day in your future that you don't know. So you can do whatever you like.
Well, I'd want to make sure that I was near my wife. And
no, you don't have control. You don't have control of it.
Yeah, you don't have control. So you could be on a business trip.
Well, let's say tomorrow. Tomorrow's the day that you're gonna.
No, but hold on. Dave said, "How long would you last?" Well,
yeah,
you'd last infinite because you kill yourself. You're back.
No. But you choose the amount of days. I would choose, as mad as it sounds, I would choose 1,000 years.
And do what with it? Learn piano?
No, because like I say, just like going to a physics class every day, I'd be shit.
Sorry, are you asking if the first thing Dave would do would be learn piano? I'm joking. Dave would be in that pool with a beer every day. That's all he'd do.
Just with a blue note.
I would say,
foie gras and a Stella Artois, please.
Exactly. I would take 1,000 years, I think. 1,000 years, where I wouldn't do anything particularly interesting. I would just, get drunk most days, obviously. Watch every film, read every book. Happy days. Yeah, I'd take about 1,000 years, I think.
Well, one question I had
if you don't mind answering my question
sorry,
first, all three of you.
I don't know, mate. I don't know. No idea.
I don't even get your question. I don't even get it. Like, what? If I don't get it either. I can't risk not seeing my kids for 1,000 years. I'd be sad.
Difficult. In the next, in the next 2 weeks,
I'm going to London on Thursday, right? So if I'm in London on Thursday, I don't want to not see Jen for 1,000 years.
So how does it end, though, Dave? How does it end? Do you leave the loop or do you die?
You have to do 1,000. So you have to do 36,000. Well, for me, you have to do how many days you want. Choose how many days. I've chosen 1,000 years because it's easier. But like, if someone in the next 2 weeks, one of the random days will be chosen. So you could say I'll have 3 days where I can do what I like, or a billion years. How many would you choose?
Well, this is complicated for me because over the next 2 weeks, I'm in London, right, for one of those days. So I don't want to be in London on Friday. If I choose 1,000 years, then I don't see you guys. I don't, what the fuck? So
yeah, but you can choose. You can choose. No, but I don't see. This is where Dave's question is flawed because you can choose not to go to London on the second loop, on the second time you do it.
No, because I wake up in London. I'm in London on Thursday. I wake up. So I've got to factor all this in.
Yeah. All right. So okay.
Yeah, I could just come back. Yeah, hang on. Yeah. All right.
That's my point. Right. That's with Dave's question. It's hard because you don't know what. I would say my answer is. What's that Malcolm Gladwell rule? Do you know, Kyle?
No. Who's that?
Isn't it?
Malcolm? Don't answer any questions from Dave McGee.
Didn't he say
Dave's
like you have to spend like if you spend 100,000 hours doing something, then you will basically be the best at that skill.
10,000 hours.
Is it 10,000? Right, 10,000. Yeah. So 10,000 hours.
It's not true. It's not. That was one of the main criticisms of Whiplash. People like, just because you practice more and more doesn't mean you're going to be the greatest drummer of all time.
I know. It's such. Look, okay. So it's a day. It's a day in Jersey. It's a day in your home. It's a day in your home world. How long would you like? I'm taking 1,000 years.
Oh, dude, that is such a fucking good question. Now that
you can choose it. You can choose it over the next 2 weeks. You can choose a day.
Sure, Dave. I'll do 1,000 as well. I'll do 1,000 as well.
1,000 years.
Nah, I wouldn't. I'll do 100.
100 years.
Yeah, so I'd do everything. I'd learn the piano. I'd learn to fly. I'd do everything I want. I'd learn the stock market, and then I'd come back and I'd fucking ace the remainder of my life.
Yeah, exactly.
Right.
Yeah, no, I might even do more. I'd be like the Omega Man.
Yeah, I'm saying if you're not going to die, you're not going to get ill. I'm not in Jersey. I'm obviously in Sheffield. Yeah.
I might do 1,000,000 years.
I think I'd rather be Jersey, but
man, imagine being trapped in Sheffield for 100 years. Oh my god!
I think you get bored, Dave.
This guy's never been here. This guy's never fucking been here.
But yeah, no, but it's not the same day because every single day there's a different book. Every single day there's a different
years. Like I reckon after about 200 years, you'll be like, you just had enough.
You'd read every book. You complete Netflix, wouldn't you? After like
Kyle, when you chose this film, were you expecting these sort of philosophical questions?
Well, I thought Dave might do something philosophical, but I thought you might have worded this question better rather than taking 10 goes to explain it.
Well, no, because I didn't. I would like one. Basically, I would like about 1,000 years of the one day, but I guess I didn't really consider how different one day to the next is to you guys. Whereas to me, there isn't really any difference from one day to the next. But I would quite like about 1,000 years of the first day. Not to do crazy shit like kill people.
You text me all the time on a Saturday going, I'm bored. So if you're just bored on one Saturday. 1,000 years.
But you can spend all your money and there's no consequence that you spent all your money.
Yeah, you could just.
Yeah, but I think you get, honestly, guys, I think you get bored of it.
Oh, yeah, no, of course.
It just depends on what day. I think this film purposefully puts them in like this wedding day hell. And, it sort of increases the stakes of God.
I don't think it doesn't. Not my question. It doesn't depend on what day. That day is whatever you want it to be.
I would do 1,000 years if we were in Vegas or somewhere like that, where I've got infinite craziness that I can get.
But you could get on a plane as long as you don't go to sleep. Assuming we're following the rules from this film.
No, actually, no. It's Groundhog Day. I'm afraid.
If I wake up at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'm not getting to Vegas till 10.
I've not seen Groundhog Day for a long time. Then does Groundhog Day at midnight? Does it reset?
It's sort of like more like a kind of
like a Cinderella kind of thing,
or like 6 a.m. or something like that. If you stayed up late,
okay.
But that was hilarious when he's like, I did a load of crystal meth to see how long you can stay awake before I got to Ecuador.
I did a load of crystal. I got to Equatorial Guinea
and was immediately detained.
Well, yeah, I remember that. Don't know, Dave. I'll have to pass on that one. That's too big a philosophical questions for me to handle.
It depends on the day, man, doesn't it? You can't just decide, because if it's like, because Happy Death Day, she wakes up with a hangover every time. They don't really make much of that in the film.
I think you'd regret it instantly.
Yeah, exactly. Even the best day of your life or the worst day of your life, it's not, after a while, it's just like, fucking hell, it's just the same day after a while. But
you'd become bored of existence, I'm telling you.
Yeah, I know. But I would still I'd risk it. I'm going for 1,000 years. 1,000 years.
I'll go 69 years. Shafi?
I'd go 666 years.
Yes.
Well, that's Haram, mate. That's Haram. But anyway, so my question was, and Dave
Haram, mate. It's Haram, mate.
That's fucking Haram, mate. That is.
Dave can't answer this because Dave. It's obviously that Dave would be Niles. So if you're in this situation, which path would you follow? So Niles, which is a play on, like nihilistic, is a play on words in it, so don't give a shit, do what you want. Would you be Scientific Sarah, or would you be, is it Roy? Yeah, Rampaging Roy. So would you fucking just go shit and kill everyone? So I think, my personal thought is that Shafi would spend time with his family, but then once every 2 weeks would just go on a fucking murder spree.
Yeah, definitely.
You think I don't already go on a murder spree?
Definitely. Just Dexter it up.
See, I'd be too scared to kill anyone, just in case that every day creates a separate universe. So I'd be worried that if I killed someone, they might die in their own universe. So I wouldn't ever kill anyone. I wouldn't hurt anyone.
The psychology. No, Kyle, that was a good game show. Go round everyone and what would Dave do?
Dave's Niles. Dave's obviously Niles, so Dave would just get drunk all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
That is Dave now. There's no time live involved.
Yeah.
I know. Honestly, Kyle, you're not even taking the piss. I was thinking that whilst watching this film. I was like, his life is like my life. It's mad.
I would be Niles. That's what I'd do as well. But would Andy be Sarah, though? Would Andy try and learn quantum physics and whatever?
Yeah, of course I would. I'd save the day.
Me and Dave and Niles, Shafi is Roy, and Andy is Sarah. There we go.
Yeah,
thanks for deciding for me. That's awesome. Thanks.
Do you not agree, though?
Yeah, I would actually just go on a rampage. It wouldn't take me long to go on a rampage murder spree. So
I'd learn every Michael Jackson dance move. That'd be the first thing I'd do.
So let me ask you guys a question.
That's your job as a host. Thank you.
A day that you've had in your life so far. Name a day that you would love to relive. We'll start with you, Andy.
No.
Does that mean a no? It's just
your answer is no. I'm not answering that. Yeah, I'm not answering that.
You're not answering that. Okay,
just say your wedding day, and then write on a piece of paper what you truly would like to do again, and hold it up to the screen.
Actually, no. Draw it as a diagram.
I'll put it on Instagram. Go. Right, this is just a random drawing I found in the woods.
So just say, as you're showing us the diagram, tell us, say your wedding day. And,
this is boring. I've actually chose my wedding. Fucking hell, this is boring.
That's good.
I did have a really good day where Kyle went into the future. That was quite good, but we can't talk about any of these days. So I don't know. There's basically,
day, mate. I wouldn't really have that. Fucking hell, I wouldn't really have that day.
I would. No, that was the funniest thing ever. So here is my PG rated answer for Shafi rather than the real one. So things I would relive: wonderful times as a boy. So just going to the cinema and watching Three Little Ninjas.
No, one day, mate. You can't just tell. I don't want to know your whole childhood.
I'm not answering that.
Watching Three Little Ninjas is his choice. Fucking hell.
Like, out of all the days, you said you want to relive. You watch Three Little Ninjas.
That was lovely. Met you guys and went to see the film. Had some popcorn. It was brilliant.
Whose birthday party was that? Was that
some legend?
Okay, Kyle, what day would you relive?
Well, I'm going to just fuck it. I don't care. Andy wasn't involved, but what he was alluding to earlier was that we went to Amsterdam and I smoked a lot of weed and lost all sense of space and time. Didn't break the law because it was Amsterdam, obviously. Honestly, I wouldn't relive that again. It was fucking horrible. Just like
it's horrible, but after you know it's going to end, it's quite fun and you want to do it again.
Is it Tuesday? Is it Tuesday?
I was yesterday.
I tried to get in a bar. They rejected us. Shock, because we were fucked. I was fucked. And then we tried to get in the next bar. And then I was like, do you remember yesterday when they wouldn't let us in that bar? Like, that literally just happened 2 minutes ago.
That was yesterday.
It's boring, but I'd probably choose my wedding day just because all my friends were there.
That was a great day.
Yeah, it was a good day.
That was a fantastic.
That was a great day.
It was a really good day. The weather was good. I got really drunk.
It was a bit hot, if anything.
Yeah.
And Kyle and Andy were witness to one of the greatest best man speeches ever.
Yeah, half of it was good.
What did you say?
I was just witnessing Dave writing the wedding speech at the pub half an hour before
exactly,
the fucking thing.
So someone wrote it half an hour before, and someone choreographed a dance. Whose was the better speech?
I then he jizzed on Gillian Anderson's face.
Dave, like just before the speech started, Dave went up to me and went, no, let's not do the speech. Let's not do the speech. I was like, well, what's up? It's great. And he's like, no, too many jizz jokes.
Have you met Kyle?
You were like, there was all your entire speech was just based around jizz, and mine was a bit nicer.
Oh, you were just like fucking. I like mumbled like something about the Beastie Boys or something like that. I don't even know what you're talking about. But I proper came with the fucking heat.
You did come with it.
And it was completely inaccurate as well, Shafi. Completely inaccurate.
Imagine being like Laura's parents and you bellends just get up and start talking about coming. Just coming.
No, but I didn't. I had.
I remember. I said this is so funny because I said there was a shrine of. So I said, and when I stay over at Kyle, there's a shrine of Gillian Anderson, and then everyone sort of laughed because they thought that was a punchline. But then I said, and his mat just felt like cardboard, and then I heard,
oh God, God's sake! I'm getting flashbacks of how insane that was.
Well, Kyle was like saying that he'd started sleepwalking, so Laura had to tie him to the bed. So that's what I based. Yeah. I was like, oh fucking hell, that's comic gold. So I was like. And their love life's getting so kinky that she ties him to the bed every night, but only because he sleepwalks.
I forgot about that bit.
Yeah, why did I have to press the music? What was that all about?
For everybody,
everybody was obsessed with rhythm. Rhythm
is a dance.
Great tune, mate. Great tune. Yeah. So I went to a wedding where the best man speech, oh my God, involved numerous stories about the groom shitting himself. I was like, oh, holy shit, this is too far.
Yeah,
it's quality though. I love it.
Okay, so anyway, Dave, what's the day that you would relive?
Well, I know you're all going to say bollocks, but funny enough, I was just going to throw a dart at the board for either Bretton's wedding, Kevin's wedding, Mark's wedding, Carl's wedding, or Shafi's wedding. Because those are the best days of my life.
Shafi's wedding, hands down.
I know. Ironically, that was a drunk.
Oh my God. So Shafi's wedding, right? Me, Dave and Andy were in a hotel room. This was in the middle of the day before we even went to your wedding. Funny. And I just went to the toilet and I come out and they're both just fucking naked. Walking around I was like, what the fuck is going on?
Welcome to London, baby.
Andy's about to fucking knock out a concierge because he can't plug his PS2 into the fucking TV.
Mate, honestly, the whole trip was better.
That was so good. That was some of the best time ever. Oh my god! What a funny trip.
It was a funny trip.
Yeah, no, honestly, I'm not even joking. One of those 5 weddings, I'd happily do it.
Yeah, the wedding is the wedding as well.
And if the viewers are wondering, Andy got married in New York, beautiful wedding, but a kind of shotgun wedding in New York. Badass though, awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, honestly, one of those days.
But Andy's post-wedding stag do. I went to Amsterdam and got very high, and no one else did. They just kind of stayed.
All right, Carl, you already explained that. I'm too surprised.
Actually, to be fair, I'll throw in Andy's party at his house, the wedding party at his house, because that was fucking mental. So I think I was naked at that one as well. So yeah,
you did. Actually, I might change my answer to Tori's party when Breton ended up naked in the sink. That was one of the best parties.
That was brilliant. That was good.
Nah, Shafi's wedding, actually. Shafi's wedding. I just like the way we went, and within 7 minutes, 800 Muslims hated us. That's, for me, the success of the Wedding Crashers.
Mate, I've never done lychee juice since, and lychee juice was fucking amazing. So nice.
That's what you remember about.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh, the food was so good. I remember Mark, friend of the podcast, Mark was like, I'd rather have a jalfrezi and peanut rice and cumin on.
Did he say that?
Mark was such a git.
Oh, fucking hell, man.
Mark was such a git on that trip.
He probably stopped the waiter and saying, "Can I have a jalfrezi, rice and a naan?" They're like, "No, it's a wedding venue. We're not in a restaurant, mate." So, Kyle, do you have any favourite parts of the film?
Yeah, my absolute favourite bit was where Niles is getting wanked off in the car by the barmaid. He's just getting wanked off, and she's like, "I once run over a guy with this car." And he's like, "Oh, really?" She goes, "Yeah, he never walked again." Then he just immediately comes, "Ah!"
Wow, that says a lot about where your mind's gone.
That was funny.
I also like the bit where JK Simmons is like, "There's my son just watering his shit." It's beautiful.
Yeah.
Great. But that lead character, it's the lead actor, Cristin Milioti. Yeah, we don't see enough there, and she's brilliant. She was really good in that Black Mirror episode, and
yes, yeah.
He featured on a Run the Jaws track, which is even sort of more random.
Did she?
Yeah,
I didn't know that. USS Callister, wasn't it? The one with Jesse Plemons.
Yeah.
She was in. First thing I saw her in was How I Met Your Mother. She was she ended up being the mother in that. So,
spoilers to those people that
last. Oh, I'm not spoiling anything because that last season was fucking bullshit. But
that's a show you actually watched.
Yeah. So me and Laura watched it together. Yeah, we randomly. Someone lent us. I'd never even heard of it. Someone lent us. This is how long ago it was. Mid-noughties. Someone lent us the DVD. Said this is good. So we borrowed all the DVDs, and then we ended up watching them just before the final series aired. So we watched the final series on TV, and that final series is no good. But she was in that Death to 2020. Did you watch that? The Charlie Brooker thing.
Oh, right. Was she in that? Okay.
Yeah,
right.
In that, she was the Republican Karen anti-vax person that
didn't, for me, it didn't work that.
The second
I don't know,
one,
somehow...
Death to 21 was no good, but I did enjoy the first one.
Somehow just hearing Charlie Brooker's words with those sort of those famous actors feels just a bit strange. It feels like, I think there needs to be sort of someone who has his sort of cadence that can sort of deliver those lines.
Right, okay.
That's what I know. But yeah, and to be honest, I didn't even finish watching it, so maybe I should sort of just give it another go. There you go.
Yeah, she was funny in that. But yeah, I think you're right. I don't think what else I've seen her in, and she's my MVP in this, definitely. She's brilliant. I thought both the dance scenes were brilliant.
Both the dance scenes.
Yeah, so the bit where he's first trying to impress Sarah, he obviously knows what's happening at the party, so he's in sync with everyone. He's slapping a guy's ass and he's drinking people's drinks. And
yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, I thought it was brilliant. Yeah. So there's been quite a lot of stuff online about the old lady, which is the Nana, that she's part of the time loop as well.
Ooh, kinky.
She only has two different conversations with Sarah, and one is where she's like, "Oh, I've been to lots of weddings," and then later on she says to her, "Oh, I've heard you're getting out of here soon." I'm not going to go into it, but there's loads of stuff.
I assumed that she was.
So there's loads of stuff online that, she's part of the time loop, and then some people are saying, "Oh, she's Sarah she's the future version of Sarah," and I'm like, "Oh, I'm fucking no, I'm not getting into all that." There's lots of online. There's lots of theories about this whole film.
Right. Okay.
When you say online, what does that mean? Online
on the
fucking
internet.
Hell, I can't.
There's this thing called the internet. This is called the internet.
But how do you
how
know
the fuck are you getting hold of California professors if you don't know what online is?
I know you're taking the piss, but what do you mean? How online? Online. Okay, there's theories. Where
on the internet line?
But what do you put in movie? Do you just search in Google movie theories?
No, I go on Ask Jeeves. What does online mean?
You're on Reddit. You're on Reddit.
Yeah, it's Reddit. It's on
Reddit.
So Reddit. Okay. That does actually sound quite cool. Actually, I might try that. Mm-hmm.
What does CPU mean? CPU.
So okay.
But that's it. Yeah, that's all I've got. That's all I've got.
Is that everything you got? Okay.
Yeah.
All right, sweet. One.
Oh, great. Perfect. Excellent.
Do you want to do MVPs? I've said mine already. I think yours is the same, Shafi.
She's great. I mean, the whole cast is great. I think JK Simmons is great, but he's always good.
Yeah, Andy Samberg was quite understated. He's normally a bit more fucking mental than what he is in this film. Even though he is mental in this film, he's normally like way fucking more out there.
Mm-hmm.
It's quite good because, you know, you could say that Andy Samberg could get quite... I mean, I don't find him annoying, but someone would find him quite annoying if it was like that one note where I think it kind of showed like the broad spectrum of what he can do. I think, Another thing is, do you think their relationship works? As in, do you think that she is attracted to him as he is attracted to her?
Good question.
What about you, Kyle? What's your opinion on that?
So, yeah, I think it's weird, isn't it? Because he says that he says he never slept with her before, but then he admits that he slept with her 1,000 times, doesn't he? And it's weird. She loves the fact that they're together to be with. Then she's like, in fact, let's go into this. So I forgot about this, but I'll do it. So this whole film is basically a metaphor for relationships, isn't it? So to begin with, this is like, I suppose, maybe my relationship. When you're young, you're carefree, you don't give a fuck. So that's the early part of their in the time loop together. Just getting drunk, doing whatever, don't really care about the future. Then it's the girl that decides, I don't want this. I want to better myself. For her, it's going and learning all this stuff. Him. Yeah, but it's for her, it's learning all the science stuff, where it might be, in real life, it might be getting a new job or, you know, wanting to further your education, whatever. And then she gives the ultimatum and she's like, oh, well, you know, I've grown and you haven't, so I'm going to go without you unless you want to come. So he's like,
holy shit. Yeah. Wow. Kyle, I admire that. That's really, really clever. I've never been in a relationship, so don't expect me to come up with that shit. Whereas, not really. Not a proper one, not like a grown-up one.
Yeah, are you with that guy? The chip shop guy for a while?
Whatever. That was just rimming.
Dave will never outgrow that relationship.
Holy shit. Oh, it's a metaphor for how relationships actually are. Like, yeah, it's just fun at first. Then the girl.
I don't think it's
serious.
a metaphor, though. I think that's actually just describes what the sort of the journey they went through. I don't think that's what happens, right? It's kind of, that's how I felt when
subtext.
That's what I felt when I thought regarding. No, it's not even subtext. It's the text.
What is it then?
Because
it's just
it's
how
the
it
text.
works.
It is text because that's how that's what happens in the relationship.
If you were caught in a time loop, that would probably be the way you'd roll anyway. So I didn't think that at all. I just thought, be a bit upset at first, fuck about for a bit, then be like, get serious, try and get out of it. That's just how I would roll in a time loop. I never made that connection.
But that's how I felt about her. You know, that the film, the Spike Jonze film, is that she ends up like outgrowing. I haven't seen that. Shush. We'll cover your ears then. So
what? Dave? Oh my god, Dave.
Yeah, no. Okay, I'll take. Carry on.
Is that Scarlett Johansson ends up sort of outgrowing him? Like she ends up, becoming, her like capacity and what she's able to do, and is outside of the realms of what he's able to provide. So, and that's when the relationship starts.
But not like a relationship sense. It's like they evolved to something completely fucking off the spectrum compared to what humans are.
Yeah. that's kind of like he's not able to sort of keep up with that. You know,
what's really refreshing about that film is that the AI don't try and kill humanity; they just fuck off. They're like, "No, see you later, idiots. We don't want anything to do with you."
Yeah. Okay.
Did you want to talk about that J.K. Simmons scene because you put on Twitter about it, didn't you?
Yeah, this film made me cry.
Yeah,
which it's sort of rare. That
if you don't want to put it in here, mate, we can take it out.
No, it's all right. It's okay. No, because I was watching it with Liza, and she was watching it, and she really enjoyed it. And then, so basically, to those that, if you're listening to this and you haven't seen the film, basically J.K. Simmons, he ends up in the same time loop, and through sort of the beginning of the film, he ends up, wanting to murder Andy Samberg because he's responsible for putting him in the time loop. But then he stops doing it, and when Andy Samberg kind of like catches up with him, he ends up he finds him kind of at his home, just sort of enjoying his life and spending his time with his family, and then he says, so he finds out what he's been doing, and what he realizes that he's not going to see his kids grow up. So he ends up just sort of doing the same thing every day and try and spend as much time with his kids because he's not going to see them grow up. And here with Liza, because she said, well, that's sort of how I feel. I'm not, there's probably a chance where I'm not going to be able to see my kids grow up. So it's sort of like trying to, going back to that word that I mispronounced the other episode, is life is finite.
I actually had written on my notes to ask you how you pronounce the opposite of infinite, but it never came in the conversation.
Infinite, yeah. Infinite. Yeah, so yeah, it kind of like I kind of lost focus on the film for like a few minutes because it sort of just made me think about your own sort of mortality and progress. And
the writer might have spent those few lines. You might have spent half an hour at most writing those few lines. I don't know, Shafi, you write, I don't write, and it's weird, isn't it, that someone could spend so little time writing something and it has such a profound effect on so many people. It's fucking mad, isn't it?
Yeah, and I don't think I doubt that the writer would be thinking of like a mother of two having cancer, and thinking about her life being shortened, and that scene being so poignant. But that's, I guess that's the power of film, right? Sometimes it's the most trivial things that kind of make you sort of think about the things sort of in life that that are important to you. And I mean, Andy took the piss out of me the other day by saying, I can't believe you nearly cried in an episode when you're talking about Tom Cruise and Val Kilmer.
I wasn't taking the piss. I wasn't taking the piss. That's a complete and utter misappropriation of the pants. I think
it's good. It's funny.
I wasn't taking the piss.
Enemy of the podcast. Fucking hell. Here we
go. I wasn't taking the piss.
Everyone's allowed to cry when it's Top Gun. I spent half that film in tears. It was fucking. What
I was saying is Shafi has shown no emotion for 300 centuries or whatever. So I never expected the first time I saw Shafi cry to be discussing when Tom Cruise gave Val Kilmer a hug. That has blown my mind. Like, I didn't see it coming.
I knew that was the first time Shafi was going to open up to me when I was watching that. I was like, this is going to break Shafi. That steel is coming down. Val Kilmer.
And I'm glad you did that. It was good that you did that. So, so if you want to cry now, go for it. I won't mind. I'm not going to call you and, slag you off.
No, it's all right.
Go watch June, Shafi. You'll feel better if you go watch June.
I was crying throughout that whole film. Someone fucking stop it.
That's how I felt during Ford versus Ferrari.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, there we go. Okay, I think we're running the end of Andy's tether, so let's just get on. I'll get on with things because he's in a mood. So okay, right. Okay, so let's go to one-word reviews.
Oh, we did Twitter first, aren't we?
Oh yeah, let's do Twitter responses first.
Sorry.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we asked on Twitter what everyone thought of this film. Close friend of the podcast, Lindsay from the Shock and Awe podcast, said it's a great movie, though it absolutely belongs to Cristin Milioti. It's her story and her coming to terms with her choices and how to change them, plus some nice pool acting. At Mr. Kyle Hammond, it's one of those infinite time loop situations you might have heard about. Thanks a lot,
Why are you saying
Kyle.
my tweet? Fucking hell.
Why did you?
This is so scraping the barrel when we have to. We've got so few listeners that the actual performers of this have to. And next to Andy Newlands, we can't wait for next week's episode. Next
Andy Newlands, yeah. Okay,
I can't believe you wrote
lovely meal and whatever he's trying to watch.
Okay, at Skadoosh, SKADOOSCH, said, "Fucking yes, all day, baby. One of my absolute favorites."
Awesome.
And then at Arking Kyle, Kyle, sure it's not an alt
It's
account.
Kyle again.
It's not me.
Twice.
It's not me.
At Arking Kyle. I watched it for the first time like a week ago. I loved Andy and Kristin's chemistry. Also loved how they had fun with the concept and explored different scenarios. And then Skadoosh replied, "Genuinely prefer it to Groundhog Day."
Wow.
Wow.
Do Kyle's again.
And Andrew at the Spoilist, he's basically a really good writer, has his own podcast, and he's got his own website called thespoilist.com. He said, "I wasn't sure there was that much new to be done with the time loop comedy, but it's certainly a response to Groundhog Day in that it actually gives the woman lead agency. It's an enjoyable way to spend a couple of hours and worth a rewatch."
Yeah, brilliant.
Right.
Thanks.
So thank you for all your comments. Thanks for getting in touch. It's great.
One-word reviews. Let's go.
It's the one-word review. The one-word review. The one-word review from us to you.
Except for Dave, who says, "It's the best."
Andy, what's your one-word review?
Date night.
Nice.
What's
Date
your...
Date night.
What's your... Kyle, what's your one-word review?
Banging.
Dave, what's your one-word review?
I can't wait to watch this film again.
Very good. Very good.
Shafi, what's your one-word review?
My one-word review is...
Oh, fucking hell.
To infinity and beyond. Anyway.
Infinity.
Infinity, yeah.
To infinity and beyond.
So, Andy, can you...
Very quickly, Peter Gallagher underused in this film. One criticism, maybe.
Peter Gallagher's in the film?
Yeah, man, he's the dad. He's the bride's dad and Sarah's dad.
What has he been in? Because I recognise him so much.
He's the dad in the OC, basically.
He's been in loads of... He normally plays like the... Not the love and like the sort of the rubbish love interest, the one that kind of
like a Mark Ruffalo
screws up.
Okay, so next up is Shafi Malik. Shafi, what is the next choice for the podcast, please?
Okay, thanks. And it's a very formal way of asking. So my next choice is, I mean, I'm in a quandary because I'm really conscious about what Kyle's going to like and what Kyle's not going to like now. Kyle just seems to hate everything I choose, so I'm going to hopefully...
Yeah, I don't like no. I like Jalika too, but I'm not
anything
like
Japanese.
Horror. I don't like horror, basically. No, because I liked Shin Godzilla. That was great.
Okay, so my choice is a film called Revenge, and it was released in 2017.
I've already seen it.
Have you seen it, Dave?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. Great. Excellent.
Nah.
Is that the one with the girl that's like, she gets fucked up? And she's like, Fuck, I might have seen that.
Oh, really?
Oh, the French film.
So.
This is a French film.
Yeah.
I've seen the trailer for it, man. Yeah, it looks fucking quality. Yeah.
Is it in French?
Okay. It's in French, yeah, but there's not much.
I've not seen it.
Dialogue.
It's in
there's
French.
Not that much dialogue. No. There's not that much dialogue
again.
And Lindsay from the Shock and Awe podcast has agreed to come this episode.
Go on, Lindsay.
Yes, quality.
Excellent.
Right. Okay. Awesome.
Oh, this looks quite.
Mate,
brutal.
it looks fucking mental, basically. Yeah.
Oh god.
And
Can I watch this with Jen?
Yeah, I think Jenna's going to be like, "Fucking Shafi is fucked."
Oh, Shafi, why'd you do this?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'll try I'm going to pick a nice rom-com for my next one. Or just like Kyle, do you want to take us home?
Yes, please. Get in touch with us. Please send any questions, comments, praise, hate mail, or one-word reviews to the Popcorn Postbag at whodroppedthepopcorn@gmail.com, or follow, harass us on Twitter at whopopcorn, or on Instagram and TikTok at whodroppedthepopcorn. You can also leave a review on your podcast app. And please remember to like and subscribe. You've been listening to Who Dropped the Popcorn. Really appreciate it. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.